Introduction: How to master your willpower. To master it, you must first know how to define it, where it comes from and how it works. Thus, failures become less frequent. In this book, you will learn: how does willpower work? How to train your willpower? How is the will controlled in our body? How to control your willpower? What to do if your will is lacking? How to build willpower with willpower? How do you teach willpower to a child? What are the limits of willpower? Our answers to these questions are easy to understand, simple to implement, and quick to execute. Ready to master your willpower? Let's go. How does willpower work? We all have a limited reserve of willpower that we can use on a daily basis. Willpower is like a muscle. The more you exercise it continuously, the less you will have available immediately afterwards. For example, when we use it to resist a temptation, we have less energy to tackle difficult tasks later. We then make fewer good decisions when we are mentally tired. How do you train your willpower? Willpower is not innate. When you make positive changes in your behavior, you strengthen your willpower in other aspects of your life. For example, when you exercise, you strengthen your willpower, which is less easily depleted, just like your muscles. Another example is that when you manage your budget effectively, you increase your chances of quitting smoking. How is willpower controlled in our bodies? It is a misconception that if we let ourselves go, we will have more willpower available to resist future temptations. In reality, it is glucose that gives you more control over your willpower. The brain needs glucose to function, so if you are hypoglycemic, then your brain will function differently and your willpower will be diminished. And when our willpower is diminished, the brain activity in our brain indicates that we feel negative emotions more intensely, as well as a predisposition to distraction. How to control your willpower? Your willpower depends on the quality and composition of your goals. For example, if you want to spend more time with your family and at work, these two goals are incompatible. We only have 24 hours in a day. On the other hand, goals such as staying on a budget and quitting smoking are not conflicting goals. They are in fact harmonious. Your goals should be clearly stated without being too specific. For example, monthly plans, as opposed to daily plans, are more effective and less demoralizing because they are flexible and allow for a lot of leeway. What if your willpower is lacking? You don't always need willpower to reach your goals. Developing habits or avoiding temptations will do just as well. For example, instead of using your willpower to resist the temptation to drink a beer, simply avoid going to the bar. And to avoid depleting your willpower, if you think you can do something every day that will help you achieve your highest goals, create a positive daily routine. How do you build willpower with willpower? It may sound strange, but one way to help build willpower is to believe that a higher power is watching over you. This is because they are influenced by an external control, that someone or something is watching their behavior. For example, Catholics don't want to be dishonored by their community and their God for having a child out of wedlock and are therefore less likely to engage in behaviors that do. But it is not just religion. The increase in willingness is also clearly observable in non-religious communities where there is a higher authority. For example, in the Alcoholics Anonymous program, to be part of the new community, you must agree to stop drinking. How do you teach willpower to a child? Children who have more willpower are more successful in life because of a culture of strict rules and goals. In other words, parents need to set clear goals, enforce rules, reward excellence, and systematically punish bad behavior so that the child understands the link between cause and effect. Be careful not to confuse the development of willpower with the development of self-esteem. The latter creates narcissistic children, convinced that they are better than others. What are the limits of willpower? Willpower is an undeniably powerful and underestimated force in our daily lives, but it cannot solve everything. For example, people with strong willpower will not necessarily succeed in their diet. They have only a slight advantage over people with less willpower. In addition, some diets encourage you to consume less glucose. But as you saw earlier, glucose is necessary for willpower. So to maintain your willpower and succeed in your diet, maintain an acceptable level of glucose in your diet. Conclusion: willpower is not something abstract. By understanding these strengths and limitations, you have the keys to more effective willpower control. If you like the summary, click on one of our partner links to discover Willpower: Rediscovering Our Greatest Strength by Roy F. Baumeister and John Tierney in ebook, book or audiobook format. And if you're not interested in reading further, we recommend you discover Badass Habits, Cultivate the Awareness, Boundaries, and Daily Upgrades You Need to Make Them Stick by Jen Sincero. Introduction: Do you want to break bad habits? It's true that it's hard to break old habits and replace them with better ones. But with the right approach, you can more easily break bad habits. In this book, you'll learn: what impact does a habit have on your identity? How to set healthy boundaries? How to maintain a new habit? What is the method for adopting a new habit? Why isn't it important to achieve perfection? Our answers to these questions are easy to understand, simple to implement, and quick to execute. Ready to break your bad habits? Let's go.